This short video explains the essential details of the grey matrix. First, what is it good for? Firstly, for finding out where people are in their spiritual pilgrimage. Secondly, for diagnosing how well our current ministries are performing. Are they hitting the mark? Thirdly, for planning a balanced set of ministries. And fourthly, for understanding the importance of relationships in communicating the message. We need to begin with our audience. How much do we really know about them? Are they open to change? Do they know about God? If so, how do they feel about God, or about Jesus, or the church? What problems do they face? Here is a simple scale which denotes a person's knowledge of the gospel or spiritual awareness. Starting at the bottom, we find is no awareness of God. Then we go through various stages of increasing awareness to personal knowledge and experience of God at the top. We refer to this as the vertical scale. The horizontal scale indicates their openness towards the gospel, from closed on the left to open on the right. It does not depend on their knowledge. It addresses feelings and experiences, and it reflects relationship and trust. It is conversational in style. When we add the vertical scale to the horizontal scale, we get the grey matrix. You will see that the matrix is made up of 4 areas or quadrants, A, B, C, and D. Each has its own characteristics. Let's look at these more closely. Quadrant A. Characteristics of people in this quadrant. They are closed to the gospel. They are unaware of it or rejecting it. They are possibly opposed to evangelism and hostile to Christians or church activity. Quadrant B. Here they are open toward the gospel. They are hungry to know more. They are accepting of the message. They are welcoming Christian activity or engagement. In Bible terms, they are a ripe harvest field. Quadrant C. This is where we want people to arrive as followers of Jesus, as members of a Christian fellowship, wherever that is possible. They're growing in Christ, they're active in the church, they are sharing God's blessings and possibly bringing others to Christ too. Then we have Quadrant D, a difficult group. They have experienced a closeness to Christ, most probably, but they have fallen away. They are negative or indifferent to the gospel, and they are spiritually cold. Now here's the important point. Each quadrant is quite different and needs a separate approach. We cannot effectively reach people in all 4 quadrants at the same time. It is good to make programs that simply build relationships. It's good to help people practically as an expression of God's love. God made us as body, soul, and mind. Now we look at some of the evidences of effective communication. If we look at this diagram, we see there in the bottom left-hand corner, there are 3 arrows. The vertical one represents a person's understanding. The horizontal one, pointing to the right, indicates their openness. The red one is the general overall movement or direction of growth. Effective communication opens up conversation and helps people become more open. It builds relationships that are trustworthy and credible. It helps people understand more. It recognizes knowledge and openness are equally necessary. For many people, their attitude may need to change first. That's important to recognize. People feel accepted, cared for, and loved and understood. And now we come to the interesting part, determining where people are at and how we enable them to get to quadrant C in the top right. You see that we have 3 sets of people in this illustration. The red one at X, the green one at Y, and the blue one at Z. X with closed attitude, minimal knowledge or spiritual understanding. Y with an open mind but not much knowledge, and Z a believer who has an interest in deepening his faith. How do we help these people move? We lay a pathway. It is made up of various programs, each suited to where a person is at in his faith journey. J, K, L, M, N, and O. We should explore this in greater depth in part 2, which is to follow. This is the end of part 1, except to recommend looking at the website and also the book, The Grey Matrix Handbook. It is available on Amazon as a paperback or Kindle ebook. Part 2 will follow later.